Hey there guys, what is going on? We've got a little bit of a different video for you here today. We are taking a look at the top 3 most underrated class setups in Cold War right now. Now what do I mean by this? Weapons that are still very good in this game, but are overshadowed by other weapons, or are pretty much underused compared to how powerful they are. We have 3 weapons on this list, of course, as I mentioned already, but just before we do get into the first one here, make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on. I do massively appreciate it, and it really does help me out. Of course, we are looking for 5,000 subscribers very soon, so if you could help me reach that goal, that would be absolutely massive, and I would massively appreciate it. So, let's take a look at the first underrated class setup in today's video. So, what we have got here today for the first one on this list is, of course, the DMR 14. Now, I think this is a very good weapon in this game, if a little underrated. No, normally I don't run a gunfighter class setup with those 8 attachments, but I feel like for the DMR, or most of the tactical rifles really, 8 attachments is always a good option. So we can get away with this class setup is an absolutely fantastic one for getting those almost 2-shot kills. If you land a headshot on this bad boy, all you have to do is follow up with a body shot and you will very likely get a 2-shot kill with this thing. Our attachments for the DMR 14 are going to be as follows with this. We want that mill-stop reflex or your optic of choosing. This really depends on what you do prefer here. You can also take something like a Vision Tech 2 times or whatever optic you do prefer in this slot, just to give you a nice clear sight picture. In the muzzle slot, we're going for that agency silencer here to give us that 100% muzzle flash concealment, as well as a little bit increase to our vertical recoil control, which is a very nice bonus. You do lose a touch of bullet velocity here, which is a little inconvenient, so of course you can swap this out for like an infantry compensator if you don't want to lose that bullet velocity. In the barrel slot, we're going for that task force option. This does give us that increase to our damage of 24%, as well as a 100% increase to our damage range and a 50% increase to that bullet velocity. We take a look at the detailed numbers here. This does give us 72 damage, which if we do throw in a headshot to that mix, you will get a 2-shot kill here. The effective damage is absolutely wild at 101 meters, and the bullet velocity at 875 is quite respectable. In the body slot, we're going for the SOF target designator here. This does give us a 60% increase to our reveal distance when we are aimed down sight, meaning we can pick off people from a little further away as they will be more visible. In the underbarrel, we're going for the S-Forward speed grip here for a 5% increase to that sprinting movement speed. This does let us move around the map more quickly when we are sprinting, as well as a 15% increase to that recoil control, meaning we can hit the target in combination with our agency silencer here. In the magazine slot, we're going for the SAS mag clamp to give us a very fast reload speed here. This is a great attachment for just jamming that into the magazine very quickly, but you can choose whatever other magazine you like as well. Handle slot, you probably want that airborne elastic wrap or a serpent wrap, depending on if you do want to reduce that sprint to fire speed by a little more. If you like to play a little slower, the airborne elastic wrap is good for you. But if you do like to play more aggressive, sprint around a little bit more, the Serpent Wrap is probably what you want to go with. Then lastly, in the stock slot, we're going for that Raider stock for a 30% increase to that sprint to fire time, as well as that aim walking movement speed increase of 40%. But you can take the SAS combat stock if you do want to move around the map a little more, get those sights up as well. The rest of our class setup is as follows here. In the secondary slot, we're running the street sweep. We're being able to get those 2-shot, 3-shot kills at those close to medium distances, is still quite powerful with an automatic shotgun. As for our attachments here, that muzzle, we want that infantry V-choke to tighten up that ADS spread when we do aim down sight. Quite nice here. Barrel, you want to take that ranger option as you aren't really getting those 1-shot kills anymore. The damage does seem kind of inconsequential, so ranger to increase that little bit of extra damage range is quite nice. Then the body slot, that 5mm laser, 35% increase in that hip fire accuracy is quite self-explanatory. The magazine, 18 round drum mag, of course, to give us more shells. And then lastly, the no stock to give us a lot of sprint to fire speed here. The rest of our class setup, as I said, the tactical, we want the stim shot, the lethal, or the semtex. The field upgrade is, of course, up to you. All these slots are mostly up to you. Perks, we, of course, want flak jacket, scavenger, and ninja. Those are our personal choices, and I think they're very good. And sort of mandatory options for some of them, like flak jacket. And as we mentioned already, we're running 8 attachments here, so we want gunfighter. The next class that we do have on our list here is a little bit interesting. Now, this is not for everyone. The ZRG 20mm is an absolutely ridiculous sniper in this game. This is a weapon that you realistically shouldn't be able to fire standing up, but you can get some pretty nice feeds with this thing. It has ridiculous 1-shot kill zones basically to the head, the chest, the shoulders, and pretty much the lower body, like chest and sort of top of the thighs. I think there's the zones for the 1-shot kills, which is pretty ridiculous. You can pretty much hit somebody anywhere on the body and they will die to a 1-shot kill, which is absolutely hilarious. So that is why we are taking this class here. Now keep in mind that this isn't going to be the fastest aim down sight speed weapon. It does have an aim down sight speed similar to the Tundra, but that rechamber speed is quite slow. So firing more shots at once is quite difficult. So to start us off here, we want that rapid fire barrel to increase that fire rate by 15%. This does give us a fire rate of a massive 31 rounds per minute. But that might seem like a low number, and it actually is, but you can sometimes get a second shot off with that increase to that speed. In the underbarrel slot, we're going for the infiltrator grip here for a 5% increase across the board to movement speed, shooting movement speed, and aim walking movement speed. This is a quite nice boost for moving us around the map more quickly. In the magazine slot, we're going for the 5-round mags. You do have 3 rounds by default, which is not really enough here, so having a few more bullets to shoot is quite nice. Handle, of course, you want the most amount of aim down sight speed as well for the airborne elastic wrap here, 12% increase, as well as a little bit of flinch resistance and, of course, aim while going prone. Then the stock, we want that Raider stock for that sprint to fire speed and aim walking movement speed. But for the most part, you sort of want to be a little bit stationary with this thing. Move around the map or trying to get those aim down sight up nice and quickly is kind of hard to do anyway. But you just rely on the amount of one-shot kills you get. If you do fail to get those sights up nice and quickly, you can still catch up by getting that ridiculous one-shot kill. Even if you shoot somebody in the shoulder, they're going to die, which is absolutely hilarious and a lot of fun here. So if you haven't tried out the ZRG 20mm, it is a lot of fun. The rest of our class setup with the secondary here, we're going for the Akimbo dual-wield Diamantis here. This is what we have in the attachments. We want that sound suppressor just to give us that muzzle flash concealment. This does reduce our damage range slightly, which is quite inconvenient, but not too big of a deal. Barrel, we want that task force to give us back that extra damage range, that increase to that bullet velocity of 120%, as well as a little bit of increase to our damage. Then the body slot, we're going for that SWAT 5mm laser hip fire accuracy, very, very important for this particular class. Then the magazine, we want that Salvo 30 round fast mag to give us the most amount of reload speed, as well as a lot of bullets to fire here. And then lastly, that stock dual wield, which requires the last level of the pistols to unlock this thing, but you do get two very powerful close range options. As we have talked about previously, the middle three slots are tactical, the lethal, and the field upgrade slots. So for the most part, up to you. You can pretty much choose whatever you do prefer in these slots. Like a gas mine or something like that is going to be very useful for a sniper if you do play a little bit more slowly, but again, up to you here. In the wildcard slot, we're going for perk greed here. You don't need 8 attachments on this thing, so perk greed is a fantastic option. Flak jacket, forward intel for that explosive resistance, and of course that larger minimap, as well as seeing the respawns. Assassin scavenger for getting extra information on our minimap, as well as more bullets when we do kill people. And ninja and ghost are very self-explanatory. You don't need the explanation there. And then the last class that we do have here is probably why I made this video. The KSP-45 is such an underrated weapon in this game, despite being one of the most powerful and fastest killing SMGs or weapons in general in this game right now. If you do get a one burst kill with this thing, you're getting a time to kill of about 220 milliseconds, which is lightning fast for this game with 150 health. This is very, very ridiculous that a lot of people aren't really using this weapon. It is, of course, a burst weapon, which is a little bit more difficult to use, but if you do get those one burst kills, you are killing people absolutely ridiculously fast. So keep that in mind with the KSP. It is not the easiest thing to use, as you do have to deal with those bursts, and it can be a little bit difficult to hit shots from medium distance sometimes, but those close range, medium range, one-shot kills are rapid, man. You absolutely delete people when you get those kills there. Our attachments on this thing are going to be as follows here. That sound suppressor for a 100% increase to that muzzle flash concealment. We stay off of the radar when we are firing this thing. And then the barrel, that task force option for a 6% increase to that damage, 50% effective damage range increase, and 75% increase to that bullet velocity. We do lose some recoil control here, but that's not too significant with a burst weapon, as we can make up for that with other attachments. Then the underbarrel, the S-Forward speed grip is kind of not the best option anymore for that sprinting movement speed, but getting a little increase is still nice here while having a bit of recoil control. But you can take the bruiser grip, as I said. This thing doesn't really have too much recoil as it is, but front grip's still good. Field agent make it a little slow, but it is up to you what you do want to do in the grip slot. But you do need something. In the magazine slot, we're going for the Vandal speed loader here for that reload quickness and maximum starting ammo increase. This is a nice option for keeping us in the fight, getting that fast reload speed. Very important for this weapon. And then to round this out here, we have the handle. We have that serpent wrap, 25% increase to that aim down sight speed, so we don't reduce our sprint to fire speed as much as we do with the airborne elastic wrap here. The rest of our class setup, again, the secondary is a little different. We want the dual wield magnums here for those medium distance one-shot kills, which is absolutely hilarious with these things. It's still broken, very, very fun to use. We want that sound suppression again for that muzzle flash concealment, meaning we stay off of the radar. We want the barrel, the task force option again, increase to the damage, increase to the range, increase to the bullet velocity, very powerful. Then the body, 5mm laser again. Most of these class setups for the secondaries are very, very similar, despite being a shotgun versus a pistol option. So 5mm laser here. Then the magazine, biggest one, so we have more bullets to fire. And then lastly, that stock, the dual wield option, so we get 2 of these pistols. Again, the middle 3 options, tactical, lethal, and field upgrade. You can choose whatever you do prefer in this slot. This is always up to you. We got the stim shot, the semtex, and the jammer here. Keep that in mind. Choose whatever you prefer. Wildcard, perk greed, again, you can choose whatever you do like in this. I don't think you need 8 attachments for this thing, so perk greed's always good. Flak jacket, forward intel again for explosive resistance and a larger minimap, and well as the spawn locations. Scavenger, you know what that does. Assassin, you have talked about that already. And then ninja and ghost, you know what they do. And that's pretty much it here for our underrated class setups here. If you haven't tried any of these weapons out because you're sort of like, oh, well, they're not as good as some of the other weapons in the game, particularly the KSP-45 is an absolutely ridiculous SMG, man. If you do get those one burst kills, you're getting an absolutely lightning fast time to kill of 220 milliseconds. The one-shot kill potential on the ZRG 20mm is hilarious, man. There's so much fun to just get one-shot kills with this thing pretty much anywhere on body. And then to round this out here, if you get those 2-shot kills with the DMR, man, it's a lot of fun to mess around with these classes, but particularly the KSP-45, which was the inspiration for this video. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this one. Make sure you do check out these classes, use them in-game. They're a lot of fun. Make sure you hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on. I very much appreciate it, and it very much helps me out. And of course, I will see you in the next one. Bye!